The playoffs is officially here.
Welcome to Dr. Mensch, the radio show that takes a real, compassionate look at mental health from A to Z. Join child and adolescent psychiatrist Dr. Gil Lichtshein each week as we explore topics that matter: autism, ADHD, anxiety, depression, OCD, schizophrenia, behavioral challenges, neurodevelopmental disorders, and more. No stigma, no judgment. Just honest conversations, new therapies, breakthrough treatments, and real solutions for real people. Mental health is not a weakness. It's a treatable medical condition, and help is available. Join the conversation now by calling the studio at 888-994-4995, Studio A. This is Dr. Mensch, where hope and healing begin.
Good afternoon. This is Dr. Gil Lichtshein, aka Dr. Mensch. I'm a board-certified child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist in Boca Raton, Florida, which is where my office is at, 7100 West Camino Real, Suite 404, and my phone number is 561-300-4052. I live in South Florida. It's been summer now for a few months, but it's kind of officially summer. Schools, colleges have been out for almost a month, but public schools have ended all within the last week. So kids are out. It's the summer. It's fun times, and it's if you're a New York Knicks fan, this is really a great time because the New York Knicks are 2 games away from achieving I don't say impossible, but achieving something that seemed improbable at the beginning of the year. That is an NBA championship. I have Freddy Santory here, a frequent guest who, like me, is our Knicks fan. And at the beginning of the basketball season, with the Knicks making a coaching change, it seemed like that Mike Brown was given an agenda or a task. Like, you make a coaching change where the Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference Final. Mm-hmm. They got within 2 games of the NBA Finals, and they make a major move. They fire Tom Thibodeau, who was beloved by the players, and they hire Mike Brown. And you think, like, okay, Mike Brown, you have to get the Knicks to the finals. You can't you can't get them to the Eastern Conference Finals or anything less, because that's basically you've stagnated. You got to take a step forward. So that means getting at least to the conference, to the NBA Finals. And at the beginning of the year, when you had was there a talk that the Knicks would make it? They were thought as a championship contender. I certainly thought Boston would be down because Jason Tatum was going to be out for the year. Indiana was going to be down because Tyrese Halliburton was out for the year. Who knows, was Cleveland a fluke or the real thing? I didn't think Detroit was going to be as good as they were. So yeah, it looked promising. But then, Detroit won 60 games. Boston remarkably won 56 games, and then Tatum came back, and it made it seem like, oh God, the Celtics have to be the prohibitive favorite. Jason Tatum's back. They won 56 games. Man, they're like a machine. Then, so going into the playoffs, the Knicks had won 53 games. So they actually, I think last year with Thibodeau, they won 52. So they more or less kind of, were in the same place as last year. And I believe last year they were the 3rd seed. Mm-hmm. This year they were the 3rd seed, because they played Boston in the semifinals as the 3rd seed playing the 2nd seed.
Same lineup.
Right, so they had, more or less the same lineup, same record, same position in the seedings in the playoffs. And like last year, in theory, if everything worked out, they would have played Boston.
Correct.
In the second round. And I was like, okay, I don't know could they beat Boston the second year in a row with what seemed like a rejuvenated Jason. I was kind of skeptical.
Maybe.
But then when Philadelphia came back and from 3-1 and beat Boston, I was like, you know, New York's going to beat the Sixers. And then when Detroit lost to Cleveland, I'm like, they're going to beat Cleveland. Like, I'm not so impressed. And just like everything fell into place. So, you know, right now Mike Brown has already gone further than Tom Thibodeau, and now they're even so close, 2 games away. You know, I mean, the last time they were this close, I guess, was back in '94. They lost and they were tied 3-3.
They lost in '99.
In '99 they never had a chance. They lost.
4-2.
They only won one game, but
Yeah.
'94 they were within one game. And that was this. So we're talking. This is the closest that they've smelled the NBA championship in 32 years. So Mike Brown has already kind of, you know, met his calling, or if he was given some sort of directive by James Dolan, he's done it now. But he can really achieve, even go further, get the ring, the Larry O'Brien trophy, and you know, no one. I don't say no one, but a lot of people were thinking, this San Antonio is going to win.
Everybody told me.
You know.
Everybody said to me they ain't never met anything like San Antonio.
Right. Everybody's talking about, San Antonio, Oklahoma City. That should really be the NBA Finals. But, you know, I think the Knicks have proven a lot of people wrong. They're a gritty team. They're just like the ballers. They don't have the, you know, this flair like SGA and Victor Wembanyama. I mean, Jalen Brunson, I mean, is a superstar, but you know, he doesn't get. I don't think he gets the notoriety of Nikola Jokic or SGA or Victor Wembanyama or Giannis. But I'll take Jalen Brunson any day. You know, against any of those superstars. I mean, he's proven time and time again he's Mr. Clutch. Yes, he's not shooting great in the series. I think he's shooting like 35% in the 2 games, but you know, in game 2, I think he was something like 7 for 25. I mean, not a great, but you know, when the Spurs took over, you know, took the lead, he came back with a clutch fall-away jumper, and then he came with the steal against, you know, from Wembanyama. So even though he may have been off shooting, still clutch time, that's the guy. Jalen Brunson, and I would take him at clutch time against freaking SGA, against Wemby, against, you know, Steph Curry, against Giannis, because he's the man. And
there's a guy in my building who is the physicality coach, the guru for the New York Mets farm system up in St. Lucie. And I spoke to his dad last night, and what his son told him is that when Jalen got hit in the knee, the way the knee was...
Oh, in game 1?
Yeah, the way the knee was pushed out and then the other ankle was stepped on, he said if you look closely at Jalen, he didn't have the same lift. That's why the ball was short. That's why he missed so many shots. The extra day off helps him. So tonight, I'm anticipating to see the old Jalen. Now, remind you, this team is lean and they're tall, and they move real well. This was, what, the second or number 1 defensive team in the league, wasn't it?
I think so.
So that they're getting the points that they're getting under these circumstances, their defense has to match up to their intensity. So that's what I like about this game. And like those other teams that you mentioned, if their one player is not doing well, OKC was missing 2 superstars on their offense. So I can't blame them too much for losing. But the Knicks have so many scores from so many. Shamet. Oh my God. Where would the Knicks be without Shamet? Where would they be?
Everybody was, you know, in the Atlanta series, everybody was like, Mikal Bridges, man, he stinks.
Where would they be without him?
Guy has shown up. The guy's been unbelievable.
Those long arms. Where would they be without Hart, who scored no points?
Right, but he's everywhere.
But he's everywhere.
Stealing, defending, rebounding.
Anything that needs to be done.
Exactly. He's like the scrapper. I mean, he's taller, but he kind of reminds me a little bit of like Allen Iverson.
Yes.
Although Hart's taller. You know, the answer was like, I still remember that, you know, what was it, like 2001 when, you know, Iverson was in his press conference talking about practice. We're talking about practice, man. But that guy just threw, like, like he may have an off night shooting, off night distributing, but the guy was like everywhere. He'd throw his body everywhere, go for every rebound, steal. He'll jump into the crowd to save a ball. Josh Hart reminds me of Allen Iverson.
100%. And Michael Jordan said, sometimes a team has presence. So Hart is presence. Yep. OG is presence. These guys, they fill up the lane and they're always there.
I think Karl Anthony Towns, he had I would always think of him as soft. He has played great against Wemby. He has had a great playoffs. I think, I was like, oh, let's get rid of him, bring in Giannis. I don't know.
I remember we had this conversation.
I'm like, Karl Anthony Towns.
Showing you something.
I think wasn't he the number one pick of the Timberwolves?
2019?
2017 or 2016. Something he's been around. I think this is his ninth year. But I mean, he's proving himself against Wembanyama. I mean, they've been producing, and but again, I mean, everything goes through Jalen. But like Josh Hart, Landry Shamet has been just
lights
out, and yeah, where would they be without him?
I'm gonna tell you, they wouldn't win.
They need to re-sign him.
He's a free agent.
They need to re-sign him.
Oh, that's a funny thing because without Shamet in these games, and if they didn't go to Shamet, they would go to the other kid, Deuce McBride. Okay, but Shamet to me is lights out. And any spot on the floor, he's going to get you the three. He's going to get it. And that's the difference in the confidence that's going on right now. Now, you went to the game.
Yeah, I was at game 2 in San Antonio. There were a ton of Knicks fans. I mean, on my flight from Dallas to San Antonio, there was a ton. Had about an hour. Flew from Palm Beach to Dallas, and had about an hour layover to catch the connecting flight to San Antonio. So go to the gate. There were a ton of Knicks fans. I was talking to these bunch of, 4 kids that were probably like in their mid-20s. I think one was a law student. Like, I'm a Jewish kid from Riverdale, a guy from Marlboro, New Jersey. I think another guy from Bayhead, New Jersey, and a fourth guy was somewhere in Queens. But they were like, it was cheaper to go to San Antonio to watch the game than get a ticket at the Garden.
Right.
There were just a ton of Knicks fans at the hotel that we stayed at. Ton of Knicks fans. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Were you sitting in a sea of white, or were you sitting in a sea of Knicks?
I'd say the section that I sat in was predominantly Spurs fans, but there were pockets of of Knicks fans,
right.
And there would be you would hear "Let's go Knicks." It was very audible. I mean,
you could hear it on TV.
It was there. I mean, Walt Clyde Frazier was there. I got to I saw Ben Stiller in his little front court seat. I saw in my hotel John Starks. I didn't see him during the game, but he was, Bruce. I mean, there was definitely a huge Knicks contingency, and again, testament to how Knicks fans are just diehard fans, but also it was also cheaper to. I mean, from an economic standpoint,
still a few dollars.
I'm not saying it wasn't inexpensive to go to the game,
right.
But I was. During the beginning of the game, I was looking and like game 3. This was before the Knicks, the outcome of game 2. But at the start of game 2, like I was looking on StubHub or SeatGeek, and looking at prices of like section 2, like $320, like the blue seats in Madison Square, like $9,000-$10,000.
Yeah.
It's I went on StubHub, like literally walking to Frostbank Arena. There were like, granted, all the way up in the blue seats of Frostbank, but you could go on StubHub or whatever, SeatGeek, and there were tickets under $1,000. Again, that's a lot of money, but $10,000 versus $1,000. So if you were like, okay, I need to get a ticket now, I want to go to the game, you could have gotten it for under $1,000, whereas at the Garden, it's 10 times. And then as soon as the Knicks won, Game 2, those tickets went up to 15,
Yeah.
16. The comparable seats I was sitting at in Frostbank Arena was like $25,000. That is insane. Like, who can afford that? Yeah, if you're
And-
Ben Stiller or Timothy Chalamet, you could afford it. If you are Jamie Dimon or work at, Morgan Stanley or Bank of America or corporate company like that, you can afford it. But the average Joe, like imagine you're a school teacher in New York City, you can't afford to go to see the game for $25,000. It's insane.
And Hart mentioned that. He said it's a shame that the New Yorkers in New York can't go to this
Yeah.
game. And on top of insult to injury, you have the president's going to be there, the mayor's going to
Yeah.
be there. So all you're facing now are walls. They took out the watch party.
And then think if you want to go to New York to see the game, I stayed at the Westin and Riverwalk in San Antonio. It was like I think $500 for the 2 nights. One night, as soon as the Knicks won Game 2, one night at the Westin in Times Square was like $900. It's crazy. But
It's nuts.
on that note, we're going to take a brief commercial break.
What happens when the mind of a healer crosses over into the darkness of the human soul? From authors David Icovetti, Dr. Gil Lichtshein, and Yolanda DeLuca comes a chilling psychological thriller, Dr. Mensch, A Prescription for Evil. This gripping novel follows a respected Boca Raton psychiatrist who secretly descends into madness, transforming into a modern-day king of the underworld. Inspired by true events and Dr. Gil's childhood connection to a mob family, this story blurs the line between sanity and evil, genius and destruction. Unforgettable, disturbing, impossible to put down. Get your copy today on Amazon.com. Dr. Mensch, A Prescription for Evil, a 2020 psychological crime thriller. You're listening to Dr. Mensch with child and adolescent psychiatrist Dr. Gil Lichtshein. For a copy of his powerful new book, Dr. Mensch's Prescription for Evil, visit Amazon.com. For more information or to schedule a consultation, contact Dr. Gil directly at 561-300-4052 or visit docgil.com. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello, Dr. Mensch back here with Freddy Santory, talking about the NBA Finals and mentioning how there were a whole contingency of Knicks fans that flew from New York to San Antonio just because of that it was, I'm going to say cheaper, but I mean, still it was expensive to go to San Antonio compared to staying at home and deciding, let's take a train or a cab or walk to the Garden. I mean, it's.
I got 2 questions for you. So you were there and you saw the part where Brunson, the alien threw the ball and hit the
Castle in the back.
in the back because
And
he wasn't
Brunson
looking
just
at him.
grabbed it, right.
And then he makes the error of fouling him. Instead of just blocking him or whatever, he fouls
Correct,
him.
fouls him.
Goes to the line. And then Brunson hits the first. And he misses the second. Now, I got to ask you, do you think Brunson wanted to miss the second on purpose to eat time?
No, I don't think he wanted to.
He just missed it.
I mean, if he was going to miss it on purpose, clank it off the back and maybe get a long rebound, he missed it.
Now, do you know that when the ball went to the side, OG was fighting for the rebound?
Yeah, I for a moment I thought the Knicks secured the rebound.
They did. Do you know what happened? Cornette used his foot and pushed the ball towards himself.
Yeah.
That's a ball kick. Nick Ball. They didn't call it.
The referees, I mean, earlier in the fourth quarter, again, OG was in the corner. And again, where I was sitting, kind of was a little bit of, had a poor view, but I could see the, referees like, out of bounds, Spurs ball. I'm like, out of bounds. The way the ball popped out of OG, I'm like, got hacked. I'm like, what's going on here? And then Mike Brown had to, use the wisely challenge, and the ref, that guy, is a black guy with a mustache. He's horrible.
He has such a thing against the Knicks. And I thought that
and
guy
only with a challenge, like, okay, after reviewing the calls overturned, OG was hacked. It's a foul and 3 free throws.
But didn't they get rid of him in the Cavs series? And they always said that because there was some kind of thing going on with him in the Knicks, and he was back again.
Back game 2 is just some bad officiating, and you don't want a game to come down to officials making a lousy call. But
There was plenty of them.
But in the end, I mean, listen, Wemby had an open shot. He missed it. To me, like, I'm totally comfortable with Wemby posting outside, taking threes and taking 18-footers.
Well, he also had a 7-footer in his face.
So, Mitchell Robinson and Cat are doing a good job in, Wemby, I think, had 9 rebounds.
Yes.
I mean, he had 29 points. He had a big second half. But, hey, you hold Wemby to 9 rebounds, I'm perfectly happy.
Bad.
I'm perfectly happy with Wemby only getting 9 as opposed to 16 or 17.
Hart had 15 in the first game. And he's 5. What is he, 6'5"?
Yeah. Wemby is what, 7,
4?
whatever, 8 feet tall. He's like a giant. But, Wemby could score 35 points. He has 6, 7 rebounds.
Yes.
1 block. Hey, I'm perfectly fine. And if his 35 is, he's shooting threes and, outside the lane, like, okay, you're keeping him from getting inside, posting up, or getting rebounds, or blocking shots, and perfect. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
Well, let me ask you, you think San Antonio is a good three-point shooting team?
I mean, they have some,
But do you think they were good? Would that be your game, is to shoot from three-point?
No, I mean, you have this freak inside.
Right, but he shoots the three also.
I know, but, like, that's not why you're paying Wemby the big bucks.
True.
He's a monster, like,
so is your
inside game, like,
but is your
force
first
it inside.
Offense is force it inside and shoot it out?
Get Cat and Mitchell Robinson in foul trouble.
Okay, and they've done that.
You get Cat in, get quickly 3-4 fouls, and he's out of the game. You get Mitchell Robinson. Okay, he's not going to score. He's there to rebound,
and
block shots, and just disrupt any penetration. You've just taken Cat. Cat can shoot the three. Cat can distribute. Cat can score inside. Cat's mobile. Mitchell Robinson isn't. So if Wemby can go inside and, like, force Cat into fouling him and force Cat out, okay, you got Mitchell Robinson, and then you hack a Mitch. He's. I was so thrilled when he made 2, and I'm like,
made 2.
Like
2 in a
miracle.
Now, physicality. Think that the Spurs are more tired than the Knicks, or that doesn't have a difference?
I think both teams were gassed at the end. In a late fourth, they were both gassed. But I mean, I think the Knicks are a more physical team,
and that would take more out of you.
Yeah, the Knicks, that could take more out of you. But again, Brown is playing. Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, Landry Shamet.
I don't think anybody else is.
Jordan Clarkson didn't come in at all on
second game. He came in a little bit in the first.
Right. So Clarkson, but mainly it's obviously the starting 5, and he's been using Shamet a lot, like 30+ minutes.
Especially when Hart is not.
Deuce McBride and what am I blanking on? And Mitchell Robinson.
Do you know that the second unit carried the third and starting of the fourth and got him the big lead?
Exactly.
And it was not.
Brunson was on the bench.
They were all on the bench.
Yeah.
It was the second unit, and he liked it so much he kept it.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you, that's the difference. I didn't like the Knicks' move of firing T for this guy. I never liked it. Never liked it. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you could always, it's always nice being a Monday morning quarterback, but Mike Brown had to get the Knicks to the NBA Finals. Otherwise, if they would have gone to the Eastern Conference, lose to Cleveland, it'd be like, okay, you fire Thibodeau for Mike Brown and basically, made a lateral move. But this now, you're 2 games away from winning it all.
And he has them in motion.
And
4 shots, possessions.
And
4 possessions.
They're playing like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, they got a game plan.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of film work. They're moving the board. And they're not taking it easy. They're not looking for the close
Brown,
shot.
he took LeBron James to the NBA Finals back in 2000 against San Antonio. I mean, he's been to how many finals with Golden State as an assistant? I mean, he's coached Cleveland twice. He coached the Lakers. He coached Sacramento. I think he been an interim coach for Golden State when I think Kerr was out like for medical procedures. So it's not like they hired some schlump.
He knows what he's doing. You think his philosophy is something the Knicks, if they win it all this year, they can do something with it next year.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, Brown took Sacramento to the playoffs, for the first time in like God knows how many years.
Yeah.
He took Cleveland to the finals. I mean, he had a winning record in his one full season with the Lakers, and then they fired him. When was it? That was
I don't think LeBron liked them.
no, LeBron wasn't. LeBron
With the Lakers?
no, LeBron.
Wasn't there?
No. That
Kobe?
Kobe was. It was 2000. It was the year that they played only 66 games. It was the 2011-2012 when the Heat beat Oklahoma City. I think they won like 42 games. They were like 42-24. But then I think they got off to a slow start the following season, and he was fired.
He was fired.
And then he coached Sacramento, and they got him to the playoffs. And then they fired him, and he coached. He came back to coach Cleveland after LeBron left.
Gotcha.
Like he got fired. I don't know, like 2007. He led him to the NBA Finals. I think he got fired like the next year. I don't know why. And then came back after LeBron left, and they stink, and they fired. So he got fired by Dan Gilbert twice. But so he, James Dolan didn't hire some schmuck from the street. I mean, yeah, Thibodeau also was an accomplished coach with the Bulls, assistant
Defensive coordinator
with Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
You know that the Knicks doing what they're doing right now was not expected. They're running all the tapes about how Brunson was too small, too fat, and too slow, and how this coach is too soft. You should see all the stuff that was said about them. I feel bad. I know why Mitch Robinson punched the tree. I feel bad for certain things that are going on right now psychologically. But listen, let's go Knicks.
Exactly. Let's go Knicks. Game 3 tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Right there,
Let's go
baby.
Knicks. And on that note, this is Dr. Gil Lichtshein, a.k.a. Dr. Mensch, signing off for another great episode. Hoping by come back next Monday, the Knicks would have wrapped it up and would be NBA champions.
Excellent.
Thank you very much, and have a great week, everybody.
All right.
Thank you for joining us for Dr. Mensch with Dr. Gil Lichtshein, helping you navigate the world of mental health with clarity and care. If you or someone you love needs support, you're not alone. Treatment works and recovery is possible. To schedule a consultation or discuss non-medication therapies, personalized treatment plans, or psychiatric care, contact Dr. Gil directly at 561-300-4052 or visit docgil.com. You can catch us each week on South Florida Oldies Radio and streaming across all social platforms. Until next time,